We are now less than 2 weeks away from the day of the referendum. Prepare yourself for 2 weeks of hardcore emotional manipulation like you've never seen before. This is a psychological operation on the people. Australia, prove you are not racist and vote yes. Prove you aren't racist and vote yes. You see what's going on here? Wow, 43% are going to vote no. Is 43% of Australia really that racist or ignorant? By the way, when you say Aboriginal people already have a voice in Parliament because there are MPs who happen to be First Nations people, you are being racist, just so you know. We did a fact check and that means you're racist. Not everyone voting no is a right-wing nut job, but every right-wing nut job is voting no. What is hard to swallow is watching racists wear their racism on their sleeves with pride, so there's no discussion. If you choose to vote no, you're a racist, so you better vote yes. I'm voting yes because the voice is a recommendation from the Uluru Statement from the Heart, and that's enough for me. I don't need to see the details. It's from the heart. How could you vote against this? It's from the heart. I will vote yes for the honest, dignified and generous offer that these First Nations people have made. It's from the heart. Dan says that he'll be voting yes and shares his reasons why. Beautifully said by Dan, from the heart. I'm voting yes because I have love and compassion for Indigenous people. Don't you have love and compassion in you? If you do, then you'd vote yes. I mean, you've probably all seen that Voice to Parliament book by now. Pure propaganda. Gosh, it's just perfect, easy to read, and as the cover says, it's all the detail you'll need. Get one here. She actually got on a flight, held out the book pretending to read it, and then had her phone down doing the selfie, pretending to read. You've got soy boy Simon Earl doing pretty much the same thing, standing at a train station, holding a book, doing a wee fucking selfie of himself. I can't think for myself, but this book does it all for me. I'm reading a book. I'm clever. And from the author himself, well-informed voters are likely to vote yes. How fucking stupid you got to be to fall for this. Do you consider yourself a well-informed person? Well, yes I do. Well, in that case, I assume you're voting yes. Clearly this is aimed at the simple-minded, the emotionally stunted. I need book to tell me what to think. And it's not the first time progressives have done this. See this book from a few years ago that tells young people that they're only allowed to vote for Labour or Green. If you go into a bookshop, pick up this book and have a flick through it, you'll find all these emotionally manipulative cartoons. You know, if the yes vote wins, you'll wake up and you'll say, oh, we're growing up as a nation. But if the no side wins, we'll wake up and go, I guess growing up was just too much to hope for. Boo-hoo. Another one from Thomas Mayo, the author of that book. I was moved to tears by this powerful article this morning. It made me wonder about the lack of empathy of some people who already have a voice. I was moved to tears. Vote yes. I was crying. What exactly is it that the I don't know crowd don't know about the voice? Do they not know if they've got compassion in their hearts? Do they not know how to read and learn and listen to Aboriginal people? Do they not know how to show respect to First Nations people? It's basically, you'd do it if you loved me. Don't ever get into a relationship with someone like this. Appealing to Australians to consider the impact of a no vote on the mental health of First Nations people. So basically, if you vote no, you're mentally damaging First Nations people. So you better vote yes. My favourite demented wee leftist lassie from Victoria, Christy Dan fan. These are the people who are opposing the voice. They're anti-intellectuals. They don't like gay people and they all read the Herald Sun. It's a Dana day and Dan and his government are supporting the voice. They will be voting yes, because Victoria is progressive and multicultural, and those are good words, and Dan likes different cultures. Go Dan! Grotesque! This is shameful! It's our lives on the line here. If that no vote gets up, then we're all just gonna drop down dead. If the no vote wins, we all lose. If the yes vote wins, we all win. This is like the 2016 Hillary-Donald Trump thing, where prior to the election you had all the Hillary Clinton fans frightening their children, saying if Donald Trump wins, it'll be the end of our country, they'll come and get you and all this nonsense. And but don't worry, because Donald Trump, there's no way he'll win. There's no way he'll win at all. Hillary Clinton, 95% chance. And then Donald Trump won, and all their kids have all these fucking mental health issues because they fucking put all this fear into them. Australia is already awash with advisory groups, so The Voice is hardly something radical. Yeah, and for all the advisory groups that have infected our government like a virus, what good do they actually do? They're mostly scams. As with marriage equality, voting yes for a First Nations voice to Parliament will help many and hurt no one. Trust politicians. There's nothing dodgy can ever happen when a politician is trying to sell you something. Trust us. I can't imagine why anyone would say no. I haven't found a single no campaigner or no supporter so far who has shown any respect to Aboriginal people. Indeed, all I've seen is racism and disrespect. Of course I'm saying yes. Who wouldn't? A person much younger than me said, "Who are these people voting no? I don't get why this is such a big deal at all. Their arguments are so weak." All packed up after another successful morning handing out flyers. Best commuter comment of the day, a smile and a thumbs up with, "Why would you vote no?" See, this is the problem. I get that they're voting yes, or most of them are voting yes, because they genuinely believe that's going to benefit Aboriginal communities, especially the most in need of help or change. It's just that I don't. I think it actually will make things worse. It's going to feed into victimhood. I feel that only people at the top are going to actually benefit, and they'll probably benefit financially quite well out of it. I mean, can they not at least acknowledge that it might be possible that this would just put one extra layer of bureaucratic paper shuffling in place, which gives a six-figure salary to someone from the inner circle? Or maybe can they not articulate that maybe it's possible that something that sounds well-intentioned could be used as a vessel to carry out something else entirely, which would ultimately have dire consequences for those Aboriginals who are struggling the most? Can these people not even balance this as a possibility in their mind? No, it must just all be because of racism.
There's a fundamental, real question here, and it's a simple question. Should Aboriginal people be allowed to speak? That is the simple question before us.
This is disgusting. This is a complete reframing of the discussion, and people actually fall for it. I mean, not only that, but those who fall for this then become soldiers for the cause and attack anyone who questions it. And we've seen that in recent years, haven't we? Should these people be allowed to speak? What a disgusting way of reframing this. It's just a voice. Why would anyone take their voice away? That's so cruel. Why are you so cruel? You're taking someone's voice, and you've got a voice and they don't have a voice. Fuck me. The voice is so simple. Should Indigenous Australians be allowed to speak to Parliament? And then you've got someone replying saying, "You're expecting an awful lot of clarity out of casual racists." We've got organisations announcing that they are voting yes. What, on behalf of all their staff? This from a charity? Adam Hills, former comedian. "This is the best summation I've seen. Yes," says, "the conversation with blackfellas continues. No," says, "we're done here. The Matildas support the voice to Parliament." Basically, if you support the Matildas, then you've got to vote yes too. I mean, as if there aren't members of the Matilda squad who are going to vote no, and others who are going to vote yes. It's like any sort of segment of society. You'll get some with one opinion, some with another. This is just more division and enforcement of the hive mind. Voting no in the referendum means that you desperately want Indigenous people at the bottom of society. You want yourself at the top. How insecure are the no voters? The voice referendum is not about Labour or Liberal. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. Basically, it's this whole right side of history nonsense that we hear so often. You're on the right side of history if you vote my way. Ian is voting yes in Australia's voice referendum. Twice in my lifetime, my countrymen will get to judge my worth as a human being. Regardless of the polls and regardless of the outcome, I'm voting yes because I want to be on the right side of history and I'm a simpleton. Vote yes. It's the right thing to do. That's all I need to be told. One word can bring us together and end the division. Yes. This is completely manufactured by fucking politicians putting fucking seeds of grievance into people's heads, and this is the fucking outcome. Here's Katie Gallagher doing that fake lefty tilty head pretend empathy pose that they do. We will win this by having conversations, but of course she's got the comments turned off. Some of them are starting to realise that they might not win this. The polls aren't looking good for the yes vote. Perhaps it could be a reality check that too many people are ignorant to history, so the reason is that we're all ignorant. Paul Kelly's voting yes because he gets it. He just gets it. That's all you need to know. Don't you get it? Do you not get it? Do you not get it? If you got it, you'd vote yes. This is a common thing I've seen lefties do over the years, this phrase, he gets it. A lot of feminists have used this one. My partner, he gets it and he's an ally for the cause. You don't need any more information. Just, do you get it? Sally Capp, this demented lunatic, this fucking muppet. She's just a boss lady with no talent. She's a diversity hire, that's all she is. Nothing new under the sun. The smug middle upper classes on a self-promotion tour, pushing righteous sounding ideas which do long-term damage to the poorest in society. From the Chaser, and these guys are meant to be funny, the latest Herald Sun poll shows 137% of people are voting no. Ha ha, that's a funny. Hope, not fear. Empty slogans for the empty-headed. Fearless, vote yes. You see, it rhymes. Doesn't that persuade you to vote yes? They made it rhyme. Mr. Vanity here with his special riding the train hat, and he's very proud to tell you that he's voting yes. Magda here wants her followers to screenshot the Twitter accounts of anyone who's going to vote no, just so she can put you on a list for future reference. So it turns from emotional manipulation into threats. Typical biased coverage from the media. Tens of thousands of Australians marched yesterday in support of the yes vote. The show of support came as cracks, and confused messages have started to appear in the no case. It's interesting how the media works. They positively cover these marches, yet they gave very different coverage to anti-mandate protests of comparable size just a few years ago. My 82-year-old mum voted yes today for a kinder and more inclusive Australia. So does that mean that she's been unkind and non-inclusive for 82 years? Shame on her. Write yes on your hand for internet points. This strategy targets the same type of people who were rushing out to get selfies as they got the jab. It's the same brain-dead statement. There's no good reason for voting no. Look, fair play to her. Vote yes because it's an age-old trick and it works. I feel it was totally naive in thinking we could have a voice referendum in a mature, respectful way. I assumed people would broadly agree that Aboriginal disadvantage and discrimination was a problem and would unify to address it. I now see my country through different eyes. Pre-poll for the referendum opens on Monday. Meanwhile, I'm still yet to hear a good faith argument against the voice. That's because there isn't one. Victoria is truly a useful idiot. There's still sometimes when I think this might just be a fake account, maybe a masterful troll, but unfortunately I actually do think she's a real person. She'll fight for every progressive cause, completely blind to any criticism. She's a fool with a PhD. She knows nothing other than emotional manipulation, purposely ignores genuine criticism of her strongly held beliefs, then proudly proclaims that no one can give a fair counter-argument to her strongly held beliefs. As well as all of this, take into consideration that the theatre of the whole welcome to country performance has exploded in recent months in line with the lead up to this vote. You know, every sporting event it's done now. When you get on a flight, when you land, it gets played. I've been in meetings now when it gets spoken before the meeting, when it's just a bunch of 3 or 4 white people meeting in a meeting room. It's completely disingenuous, and it's designed to manipulate you into voting for this voice to Parliament. In my opinion, this is the engineered destruction of our society. And as usual, it's the well-intentioned lefties who are leading the charge, unable to see more than half a step ahead what the consequences of all their feel-good expression of plastic empathy might be. This is cognitive warfare. Don't fall for it.